Good evening and welcome everyone to the second day of the sixth season of the Pop Esports Masters League of Legends competition. Once again, just like Tuesday, and like the next Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 3 weeks, the two of us, I, Mitus, and the wonderful Prashtana by my side, will be casting those games for you. Welcome, Prashtana.
Yeah, thank you, Matis. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here with you together, and I hope we have a wonderful match day.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think we started strong on Tuesday, so just 2 days ago. We've had some really interesting and intense matches. Maybe we can take a look back by watching the leaderboards, how they ended on Tuesday, to get it fresh into the head, to see where everybody's at. The newcomers, Infernal Wolves Fenrir, started off really strong with 2 wins, trailing first, being the ones who played 2 games. After them, we have Royal Family Esports, last year's champions, and Snooze Esports, the runner-ups.
And then, of course, Relion, sadly, with their first loss. Hitmonlee with their first loss, and Red Oat actually with 2 losses. And even though that looks kinda sad, they played versus maybe the 2 best teams, so they will definitely bounce back today.
Yeah, they had a really tough challenge ahead of them, playing not only Royal Family Esports, the champions of last year, who've already proven themselves with slightly different roster, but still some really strong players, and they played Infernal Wolf Fenrir, who also have a pretty stacked roster. So definitely it was a huge challenge, and the games, I would say they were one-sided by far. Like, both teams always did really strong. It was, I think we said a few times, pretty close until it wasn't. So those were really interesting games to see, and I also can't wait to see what Once Upon the Team, or Red, what once has got up their sleeve for tonight. Maybe the redemption is up ahead. And talking about tonight, maybe we can take a look at the schedule for tonight. Once again, few games ahead of us. 4 games. We'll start off with Infernal Wolves of Fenrir going up against Snooze Esports, so that will be a sort of tiebreaker between them, since both are currently pretty close by. Then we have Royal Family Esports going up against Relion Esports.
And of course, Hitmonlee taking on Snooze. And at the last matchup, it's Red Oat versus Relion. So they can maybe bounce back against Relion, but maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see that by the end of the evening. So that's on the menu here today. You are, of course, currently in the English broadcast of these League of Legends games. Our dear friends from Once Upon a Team are also streaming this in French. You should be able to find a link if you'd rather hear it in French in the chat, or by using the Nightbot commands. Now, for our first game tonight, Infernal Wolves Fenrir going up against Snooze. Snooze being the runner-ups for last year. They are pretty well known in Luxembourg overall, both as an org that used to be, and with its roster, or some of the players are quite well known in Luxembourg. Infernal Wolves Fenrir are completely new to this scene. They came in as an unknown. They've already proven themselves on the first day with some very strong games, but maybe we can get to know them a little better. I give you presentation video of the Infernal Wolves Fenrir.
I'll just have a bit of veganized, which I will say myself, because I think I'm actually a good ADC to be afraid of. And if the game goes late, I'll just carry the team.
I am Luc Bingo, Luc van Elderen. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 22 years old. I play the game since Season 7.
I'm Rubin, I'm the jungler, I'm from Slovenia and I'm 23 years old.
Hello, I'm Not Sandwich, I'm 23 years old and I'm from Belgium and I'm the support.
I am Scopes, I'm the mid laner. My real name is Anja Dermash and I'm from Slovenia.
Hello, I'm Mikano. I'm 19 years old. I'm from the Netherlands. I started playing in Season 9.
I think our ambitions and goals for this competition is obviously just winning. Like, I think we all believe in the same goal.
The qualifiers went really good. We went 3-0 and won all games. It was only the last game that was a bit more close. The other 2 games went fairly easy.
Like, we know that the Snooze team is kind of good, right, based on the OPGG, and we only know like the other team that we played against in qualifiers. And I think they're also kind of okay team, but we are very confident in ourselves, so I think that it should be good.
I've been playing against challengers and grandmasters in solo queue, so I think I can handle most bot lanes.
I think our strength is that when the game goes past 30 minutes, we almost always win, because our late game rotations are really good, and we also play mostly scaling champions. And I think then the biggest weakness is probably throwing too hard early game, and then we can't come back anymore.
I think our defining element is just team fighting. With the cash prize, we didn't really thought about it or talk with the team, but for me, I will buy myself a new kitchen because I'm renovating my house, so yeah.
And with the prize money, we're also buying a team pool, so not only one player in our team will have the pool. We think that's important.
Do you have any last words for your enemies?
Yeah, they should be very scared of our choke at mid lane.
Yeah, I would say confidence is the motto, and they did start off really strong in the past in the past game day on Tuesday. Of course, we saw that there, and yeah, it was as I thought I remembered correctly. They did mention one team where they struggled a little bit in the qualifiers, and that was Red What, against whom they played there, the last team. But they still won, so they'd still win, is I guess their motto on that. That was Infernal Wolves, of course, and we've seen them play on Tuesday. I definitely think that they bring the confidence they talk about here on the pitch. I don't know what your take is on that, Prashtana.
Yeah, definitely. I think they performed really, really good, especially because I think that Red Out actually is a good team, and so Hitmonlee was kinda a little stomp, at least after the lane swap, but they handled it well. And after that, it was quite a decisive game against Red Out. So I would assume that they definitely can hit like grand finals. But I think that the hardest task with Royal Family Esports is still on the table. So we will see a really, really strong game there in the fourth week. But before that, I think today's Snooze is a good benchmark for them to actually show us that they will hit grand finals. If they beat them, then they are definitely the contenders, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I think beating the runner-ups of last year's definitely would be a strong proof of concept in that sense, starting off in the season. And they did mention themselves that they already saw Snooze looking at the OPGGs, and they were like, oh yeah, there are some players who are pretty well ranked, so this could be an issue going into the season. So we'll see how they handled them. Snooze, of course, this time around with the roster is already much closer to what they had towards the finals, and even emboldened in a sense, I would say, compared to last year. Definitely some very strong Luxembourgish players that they've got up their sleeve. Bolstered by Frankie coming in from the Netherlands, and Chokes, two really strong players who played ESLOL as well in past seasons. So I think it's going to be a very interesting match, especially since it's still the start of the season a bit. So teams are still trying to play themselves in. They're not as well prepared always for other teams. There's always these sort of a bit bamboozling factors that they can still bring out. And I think on Tuesdays you were sometimes really surprised to see the pick and ban that some teams chose at times, namely around that Skarner, where you were always a bit skeptical.
Yeah, they should pick more Skarner, in my opinion. Of course, now with the new patch, maybe the nerfs hit at them a little bit, but who knows? I would still at least try him out, but none of the teams really looked like they want to play Skarner. Anyway, here's gem selection for you guys, and we already have 2 bans, 3 bans actually, with Fiddlesticks, the Woolly Bear as a quick little target ban against Urban. But of course, something like Fiddlesticks is always a target ban. And then Frankie's Hawaii. I think he played him in a matchup, right? So they just don't want to play against it, and Scopes loses his rights.
starting with a lot of target bans. I think that's always been a bit more the thematic going into the Poppy Esports Masters. Was also the case last season. Lots of target bans specifically rather than necessarily the meta bans.
Yeah, and again, Skarner will not get banned probably, but also like the other OP picks like Victor at the moment still open, Corki is still open, so there's plenty. Even the Wukong I think did not really get hit with the patch, so there are plenty of options still for both teams. Corki at least is done so, and of course the Mel.
Yeah.
We saw her twice. She's pretty strong, and I think she won all the games she was in, right? Or did she lose the last one? I don't know,
I
right?
don't remember exactly either, but I feel like she won most.
Yes.
I think
yes.
Scopes also played her already.
Yeah. He played her definitely. There's at least a Skarner hover, at least something.
They
usually,
listened.
yeah,
They
perfect.
listened.
And I even played it. So Kinetic Skarner, most likely. I mean, there's always the option to maybe swap in support or top lane, but most likely it's just jungle Skarner. Usually countered by something like the Wukong or like a Gwen, just or even Brand, Lilia, something like that. Like there are plenty of really good matchups into Skarner. But he was on the top of the leaderboards for quite a while now. And Jin now got locked in by Tim Shady, and he performed really well, actually, on this pick against Roy Lion last match day, where they tried to knock down Ori him like every single time, and he
Yeah.
survived almost always. I think he only died once or something, so his Jin definitely was a big success part of the victory. And so now the question becomes, what do Infernal Wolves or Fenrir wants to play against it? Kog'Maw at the moment gets Harvard and actually picked, so some sort of hyper carry comp maybe with with Kog'Maw Lulu or something. Always a strong one. Even Karma, he plays a lot of Karma, not Sandwich. Maybe even a Soraka, just as shielding support to keep up your Kog'Maw.
Yeah, get some heals, some buffs in there. And I also just checked. Scopes played Demel twice on Tuesday, won twice with some really strong games. I think the last one against Red What, he was even he dealt the most damage over the course of the game. So he's definitely already kind of got the proof case here. We also have Wukong once again. We've seen him quite a lot on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, he's really, really strong. And like I said, probably one of the best matchups into the Skarner. So, because you can always, if he engages, step out of the clone or even step out of the ultimate with the clone. So, and he's good in power farming as well. Annoying to deal with if he gets tanky and stuff. So, and I like the Syndra pick here against the Kog'Maw, just to have something reliable to maybe burst him down. Of course, against the Mel could be hard to play maybe, because there are some skill shots which Mel can't block. I don't know for sure if the ultimate will bounce back every single ball or just one. Who knows? So will be a funny matchup, I guess. And now we see a Cassandra ban.
Definitely be very interesting to see what goes up in the mid lane. There's both teams got the AD carries, the junglers, and the mid lane set support and top still open. This is also kind of playing into this sort of I'll say meta we've had Tuesday already. Leave those up last open. And that we have also some I think in the case of Snooze, maybe it was already like feelable in my cast then. But they have Rikuzi on the top lane. He's always a really, really strong player, very solid foundation to the team. So it's always someone you need to be a bit wary of, I would say. We have the Cho'Gath hover. They did mention the Cho'Gath mid in the interview.
Yeah, probably not with a Mel, but still.
I don't think so either. But.
Yeah, I mean, Lock Bingo also plays the Cho'Gath top lane, so just a good tank you can play. There's also the opportunity for both teams to go for a lane swap. I mean, especially with something like Cassante or Cho'Gath, you could just starve the enemy top laner and just pick your tank, for example. Look Bingo, of course, would love to play Na, but they try to pick it away maybe. So Rakusi actually opting for Na for himself. And now the champion pool actually is a little bit lower because, I mean, the 4 top lane champions got banned, then the Na got banned. So look, Bingo definitely needs to show us a really good pick into the Na. And Na is usually a good blind pick. So there are some really strong counter picks, the Yasuo or like the Aurelia, but probably we will not see something like that. The Ornn is most likely a really good option.
Yeah, get some beefy frontline. They do have the Kog'Maw still. They need to play around it. So it's good to get some beefed up top laner here. Then as a support, maybe they can opt for an enchanter, as you've mentioned earlier. They can add some additional peel as well.
Yeah, especially because you have double frontline. I think an enchanter with double frontline, double backline would be really strong, and you have more than enough engage with Wukong and Ornn. So I actually would like to see an enchant champion, the Lulu especially versus the Syndra, just getting like a shield and the health from the Wild Growth and stuff. But or even like the polymorph against Garner who jumps in or something. But they decide to go for Braum. Like one reason could be that they just want to pick it away because Ornn usually doesn't like to play against Braum because the shield just blocks the ultimate. So that could be a reason just to pick it away. But also it's a good follow-up, and Kog'Maw's attack speed is good enough that Braum and he can insta-stun almost in late game people with the passive. And there's Emilio now. Like there's not like the classic long-range stun or something you want to cleanse with Emilio. Especially the CC from Ornn or from Wukong. They are not really peelable with Emilio. So I think the Emilio pick could have been something else, in my opinion. But they just want to go for it, so I let them, I guess.
Maybe as you have the Mel stun, which we've seen some that were quite frightening on Tuesday. So maybe they're just being a bit wary from that.
True, the Mel stun. Forgot about it. Yeah. Team-wise, I think both team comps have something for that. Have something for it. I think that the front line and the back line from Infernal Wolves is maybe a little bit stronger, a little bit tankier, a little bit more range. So I think front to back feels good for Infernal Wolves. And on the other side, yeah, I think they can definitely win team fights with Skarner now ultimate. To just delete like 3 people because they just get to have 2 really good ults or something. But could be actually difficult with Milio and Minina, for example, in team fights. You have just 1 frontline line against 3, and then like Kog'Maw will just melt through Skarner. So in my opinion, the draft from Infernal Wolves maybe a tiny bit better.
And I think that the Wukong is going to be a real thorn in the side of Snooze Esports because his engage is really front forward, right? And even if he can thwart it once, kind of, he can always come back with the second cast of the Cyclone. And I don't think they might have much chances against that if he plays his stuff right?
Yes, that's true. And I think that Infernal Wolves could actually go for lane swap with Ornn. So Minina can be doved with Braum, with Kog'Maw. You just need the cure, the auto attack hitting from Braum, and then you can just stun in with Wukong and Kog'Maw, right? So, but we saw the quote-unquote good teams do not going for lane swaps, and the quote-unquote weaker teams who wanted to go for the cheeses. So Infernal Wolves might just say, let's play normal lanes and just outplay them in lanes. So could be interesting.
Could be interesting, definitely. With a few things shaping up. How about the Ornn Gnar if they do go for classical lanes matchup? Now having the range in Minig now against Ornn, which could be a bit annoying, I think. But how do they fare? Because we know that we here have 2 champions that are very useful in team fights.
Yeah.
We have a player on sides of Snooze who, to me, is notorious for liking to split push as well, though. How do you think it's going to pan out?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like if one of them gets really far ahead, for example, because especially Minina, if he is behind and there's just a full tank, an Ornn with like full comp, if he gets close, can always go for the kill on Na. So I think for now it's really important to stay ahead in gold, to play with like the Minina to outkite him and stuff. And I think Skarner can definitely play around him because Ornn, if he would push, then he is really vulnerable to ganks. So and then if you have a lead on R, it's really dangerous because he says I'm always prio. He has always like the pressure on turrets, and it keeps on, of course, away from team fights, which definitely helps the Syndra and the Jhin, because both are pretty unmobile. So like one good on engage can definitely wreck them. So just pinning him to a tower with your Na, for example, on the sideline helps the whole team in a 4v4 just to survive, because then like a Wukong engage like isn't really threatening. You can just call him away with Melio, and Braum cannot really engage. So you have always Syndra as well. Like Syndra and Melio against just the Wukong engage can just kill them 4v4. And so you kind of need the Ornn in team fights. And if you need him and you don't get to engage, for example, then Na gets one turret after the other. So you definitely need to find the moments to engage with Ornn and be back to the turret to defend against the Na. And the whole matchup changes if like the Ornn gets a few more gold and maybe a few ganks and stuff, because then like the Na really cannot really lane against him. And that could be a deciding factor. And that's the reason why I would like to see a lane swap, because with the lane swap, Na falls behind, your own doesn't care if he falls behind, and your own maybe is even actually able to get some CS because he cannot be dived as easily as the Na is. So maybe with that you get the Ornn ahead, and maybe with that you have a winning sideline, and then it's much easier to play because your own has smooth, and then you can just move to the team fights, and the Na gets nothing from it.
We'll see. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Infernal Wolves are the ones to break this sort of trend that we've had over the course of Tuesday, and they might be the first quote unquote stronger team to do such a lane swap, to maybe use that to their advantage. I think you mentioned that at some point this Skarner could also help top lane quite a lot. The junglers could be very proactive in this early game here with a Wukong and the Skarner. They could have a big impact on lanes, be it bot lane, be it top lane as well, or if they, whatever it's called, bop if they do a swap. What if they do the classical ones? What do you think should the junglers go play on?
Yeah, I think that most likely we will see some play for Kog'Maw, just to keep him ahead, just to get your hyper carry rolling. And mid lane is actually vulnerable. Both have a stun, so if one jungler comes and the mage hits stun, then actually that could be a kill.
Well, we'll see how that goes as we're headed into the Summoner's Rift. No lane swap to be seen by the Infernal Wolves, just a classic League of Legends lineup starting into this game.
Yeah. At the moment, nothing too fancy, just 5 point cover from both sides. None of those teams went for any early invade, went for any early wards, for example, to spot out something like a lane swap. But because both sides just 5 point cover, there are no chances to do like a lane swap, because they already saw each other. So just nothing really too fancy in this early game.
Yeah, nothing fancy going on. One deep ward being set by the Infernal Wolves at Raptors.
Yeah. Just to spot out Skarner in the early game, to have his pathing. There's even a world where Wukong could go for like an invade, for example, just trying to hit Skarner in his own jungle, depending on what the lane state, of course, on bot lane is, because he now knows that Skarner will half bot lane, so he could go after 3 camps to try to get the blue buff stolen, for example. Yep, it depends on bot lane state, but yeah, just nothing is threatening at the moment. They just play standard lanes and just not even a single trade actually happened at the moment. So they both make it kinda not special at the moment. Yeah, chilling actually, yes.
Yeah, although the Snooze bot lane is pushing it a bit harder. Of course, the Jin being quite useful there.
Yeah. And Wukong doesn't go for any enrage shenanigans, so they both will just full clear into Scuttle, into backport probably, into full clear, because at least both can gank in the early game. They both have abilities to get close and stuff, and if there's a trade on the lane, then maybe they get flanked and stuff, but both kind of rely on their ultimates to really be the successful gank partner to just hard CC and hard force someone. So there could even be a game state where both junglers just farm to level 6 and do nothing, maybe do an objective, trade an objective with each other and stuff. So they both kind of respect each other in terms of team dynamics right now. Both teams just play standard League of Legends and don't try to risk it for the business.
And I think that's a good thing, yeah, because we have two teams who've never met each other. On one side, Infernal Wolves come in as the favorite from the qualifiers in a sense, had very strong performances there, had very strong performances on Tuesday. On the other hand, they're facing Snooze, runner-up of last year, a team that does have a very good reputation in Luxembourg. So better not take any risk and risk giving them the hand and then they bite off your arm.
Yeah. And Ruben actually loses a lot of time right now. He went for this double ward into now full clearing again. So if you just look at the items, because he didn't want to go base, he has of course some deep vision on kinetic, but he has no item board. So in terms of fighting power, kinetic will be much stronger right now because just additional health. So like I said, Ruben just wants to hit level 6 and now spotted kinetic out, so he actually knows where he will go, and so all the lanes are safe while Ruben can still farm, right? Because now they have the whole jungle tracking done. And look, Bingo actually
in a dire spot here is forced to flash away, gets really low, and that's first blood going to Luke Bingo on his own.
Yeah, well played by him. And it wasn't actually close. And like this Luke Bingo actually went for Comet. And I don't know if Spectator can maybe press on, just that we can see what he actually is maxing right now. Because there could even be maybe in Q-max on or something, just to out-poke Na in the early game. And like we saw with, it's actually Q-max. So I don't know if you remember like the game with Malphite against Na, where we had this Q-max Malphite. And like that's actually the same. It's just Q-max Comet on, just to out-poke the mini Na and just to out-trade him basically. So Na loses like his biggest strength of being in range, because every time he goes for an auto attack he just gets the Q, and mini Na is really squishy, so every Q actually hurts. And then the Comet actually hurts, and now even Luke Bingo went for the tier, so I think he probably crafted it on lane, because he has so many stacks after the back. And with that, like, he has plenty of mana to just out-poke Rakuzi in the lane, and that's really painful to play. And now we see a little lane swap, or not a lane swap, but they swap to the White Crabs. And Ruben, of course, could go for the Drake now, so most likely it's just a 1-for-1 trade in terms of objectives. But if they all go down quickly, then they might stop him, but will not happen. Kinetic goes base, so just to clear 1-for-1. But in the meantime, at least Mikano got a plate most likely. So kinda a gold lead. Of course, 600 gold, you can see it on the top. But just 3 void crops for Snooze. And they are actually on time to maybe stop it, but there's no jungler, so no steal, so
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, oh, is
Bolo top
Kinetic
lane, by the
there?
way. Bolo top lane. Look, Bingo
Oh
again.
yeah, so the Bolo top lane again. Luke
Yeah.
Bingo sitting at 2-0, so this is the situation that the Infernal Wolves want to be in. They want this lead on the top lane, as you said. Things are starting to shape up really positively for them then.
Yeah. And like I said, if the Ornn gets ahead, then like Na has no agency. Like he will just lose lane. He will never have prio because he just dies in the 1v1 basically. It's crazy that he actually gets like this first couple of kills, because now he's too tanky for the Na, and every time Na will try to go for an all-in, he just dies. So he needed actually to maybe drop some waves. I mean, you already see it. It's like 2 waves advantage in a quote-unquote losing matchup. And I mean, and the funny thing is that he picked it into the Na. So he actually picked it as a counter pick, even though you could say it's a bad matchup because Na usually likes tanks because he can just shred them, he can just outrun them and stuff. But look, Bingo just tells us, no, I'm the top dog right now. Probably even has the most gold. I mean, two solo bolos, and like even a good farm. So probably he is just a rich guy.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to go away. Like, he's got his shop there. I mean, he's essentially Amazon right now.
Yeah, he has all the stuff in the world. No problems asked. The only problem with like Q maxing is that you miss a lot of damage from the W. W max is usually the way to go on Ornn, and then like most Ornns actually, or at least like the top Ornn challenger OTP usually maxes E second, because of like more dashes, like the dash cooldown goes down. So your trade pattern, you have more of those Q into E trade patterns because your Q actually has a low cooldown, but your E cooldown drops repeatedly, and the E actually even does more damage than the Q, because the Q has a weird scaling and stuff. So, but of course for the Q maxing on it's good. But now maybe in later team fights he has less damage, but it kind of evens out because he's ahead, so he will have enough damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives him really good time to top lane. We can see whenever there is a trade, like, he's winning hard any trade that they have. And it's just, Rakuzi is absolutely pushed back. He has to stand at the turret most of the time because he's just getting free poke all the time else. And then he's an easy kill for Luke Bingo. I mean, he's been killed twice alone already.
Yeah, and just look at the item disadvantage. There's like a full, on even ults, but we don't see it because the observer doesn't want to show us. Rakuzi actually needed to flash there. You see that the flash is not cooldown. On actually, you can see the Ornn ult on the minimap. Like there's a big boar, funny enough, and yeah, just he has a full item against like just components, and he already has a tier stacking and stuff. So this now is just so much behind. It's crazy. But now he has no ultimate, so they cannot maybe contest it. While
I mean, the bot lane is also just around the corner. Kinetic decides to go in, but that's the clone. He's grabbed here 4 people onto the grubs as the Infernal Wolves are starting to fall into them. It's gonna pan out to be a 5v5. They've gotten the 4th grub already. So Snooze off to a good start objective-wise. We have Megagna coming up very soon and he decides to go in. Here he comes on with the stun onto them. Luke Bingo is able to get into the backline, deal lots of damage. First kill falls. It's Scopes that picks him up on his Malice. Snooze are forced to fall back. We have the curtain call coming in to kind of dissuade them for going further. That's 1 kill in favor of the Infernal Wolves, and they grab 2 of those 3 grubs.
Yeah, and it's just the Luke Bingo show, basically. He can dash into 4 people and they cannot kill him because he has a full sunfire already. I mean, they need so much time to actually kill him that it's just not worth. They need to run out before he gets a second combo up. And yeah, even though he has no ult, he's just too tanky for them all. And then just Mel and Kog'Maw, because of all this time he gets, they can just kill Rakuzi while he was diving. So both top laners dived a little bit into the enemies, but like in the time Rakuzi dies, like Lukebingo did not even lose 200 health basically. So was just a lost fight, and Snooze got at least one Void Crab for one kill. So something, but yeah, they lost the feats of strength for the kills at least right now.
Yeah. I don't know, how is it with the grubs? I suppose that Infernal Wolves have 1 point towards the feat of strength of objectives with that.
No, it's just for the Drake.
It's
just
none.
for the Drake, 1 point. And
6 grubs
just
or what?
yeah, just if you get all 3 Void Crops, you get 1 proc.
Okay.
So if you deny 1 Void Crop, nobody gets like the feats of strength for those.
Okay.
So they just denied each other 1. And so in feats of strength, basically it's at the moment 1 for 1, and now it's 2 for 1 because 2 Drakes for 3 Void Crops basically. And Frankie deals tons of damage actually against Lukebingo because he has full armor. So it's actually a smart move right now to get Frankie against them. So Lukebingo cannot really lane against it, and he even needs to use the ultimate.
Nice done. Here comes the Unleashed Power. Lukebingo really low with the rest of Snooze coming up. Frankie has tanked quite a few turret hits, gets away very low, and they get the shutdown finally.
Yeah, well played. And that's a good lane swap actually. I mean, Frankie can safely play against them. He has always the double, the E to interrupt like the ult, like we saw, or even to interrupt, I think, the dash actually. So On can never play too aggressive against Frankie, and he just loses all his health because there's AP against armor, right? And in the meantime, Rakuzi can actually lane against Scope, so that was a smart decision. Gave them 1 whole kill. But yeah, there's the teleport, the Na, to actually try to lane against it. Now you see on the minimap, Frankie, okay, he will move top, but he moved kinda, but he moved to the portal.
Frankie's also got plenty of clear already. So Lukebingo can't just, you know, shove him in. On the contrary.
Yeah, and like an interesting item build actually by Frankie with the boots. Like usually Syndra isn't like really only burst mage. She likes the penetration. She likes to just execute people with it. Oh, he just dodged it actually.
Revital is already out. Ruben coming in. He's got the Cyclone up. He is going on to Frank. He's not got the ultimate. The flash came on time. Kinetic now right behind the Wukong player is going to get him. Suppress lots of damage with the Unleashed Power. That's a kill going to Frankie.
Yeah, well played. Just another great pickup there by Snooze. And Infernal was kinda, I don't know, just missed the train to Snowball. And right now kinda get out-rotated, just to get out-pushed and out-pressured.
Gibbs is there. Kinetic still around the corner. Goes on to not sandwich. Lots of damage falling on the Mel player. Fresco's just around the corner with his melee. Not trying just to be careful. Jumps on his teammate. Lots of damage coming from the EQ. And he dies. I think that was an auto attack from Frankie that's still connected.
Yeah, just another stack for her. She's stacking her passive to finally get the upgrades. So it goes good for Frankie. And especially with the boots, she can sidestep some of the skill shots from Mel, for example, and later on maybe outrun a Ruben or maybe sidestep the Ornn ultimate. So I kind of like the Swifties on her, just to play a little bit more with the range and trying to outmove people. But now Rakuzi could be in trouble if they really want to dive him. They have double ultimate, so there could be a way. But Kinetic already on the way.
There we have a tower guy on to Rakuzi. Ruben just around the corner. He's not going to be able to hold on for long. But with Lukebingo really low, seems like Kinetic wants to go for the kill here.
Oh, no! He could have went for the stack on the clone. He didn't. Free health. Free health. He didn't want to. Maybe he didn't knew. But like, I mean, technically the clone is the champion, so something like that procs, something like Cresp procs also, so you can get stacks from stacking mechanism. And the teleport comes out from Rakuzi. So now with Ruben being kinda low, they could try to go for Drake, but it's 40 seconds, so a little bit too much time. Ruben will get his reset probably. There's a first turret, so both sides at the moment with 1 whole feats of strength. So at the moment, Infernal Wolves, if they get the third Drake, then they get it. And Snooze still need 2 more objectives. Herald is up, and Drake is up soon, so there could be a trade, and then it would flip to Infernal Wolves.
Yeah, I think maybe Snooze should have tried to go for that Herald or something, because now Infernal Wolves can simply wait and trade. Going for the Herald, while Snooze is going for the Drake, and that would be it then.
It would indeed.
Maybe they hope to do it fast enough?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, at the moment they're doing the Drake, they're getting the Drake. And yeah, but Herald is Gunzo. There will not be in time, so it's feats of strength for the Infernal Wolves.
That's rated boots, but they are taking on that tier 1 on the mid lane. And they now have the first row of turrets cleared in general, which is really good. That's even not Sandwich trying to survive here. Gets pulled in, jumps back, but he is going to die at the hands of Kinetic. Top lane turret was brought down by Scopes as Frankie is holding the wave now, and Snooze can simply get 1 for that tier 2 on the mid lane. Rubin around the corner with Mikino. Kinetic getting really low, they flash onto him. Is forced to flee. Call of the Forge God is gonna connect. Rubin right behind him. Waits for the E, gets knocked back by Frescus Milio. And with that, Kinetic is safe.
Yeah, that was crazy that Kinetic survives that. Actually crazy. Yeah,
So
just the healing, the shielding, even the ball from Medio in the end. So, but there's Herald. So at least they get 1 turret back. And actually, in the meantime, they got I think the bottom turret or something. So at least something from them. So it's now 3-3 in turrets, which definitely helps them. And now they are good 2k ahead. So nothing is over for the Infernal Wolves. And they are kind of back in the game with those turrets now. But looked spicy. I think they got kind of out-rotated by Snooze. There you can see that probably Snooze is playing with each other a little bit or they played with each other like for a longer time. So I think that those rotations and like just the experience from them kind of helped them in those couple of minutes. But Infernal Wolves are still in the driver's seat, so it's nothing too bad for them. But they need to be careful if they got out-rotated like that. It could actually pain for them.
Because that is something that over the course of a longer game is gonna be more and more impactful. They are still ahead in terms of gold, but considering how strong in terms of laning phases the Infernal Wolves were at the start, you'd expect a bigger lead of them. Snooze still has 4 Void Grubs, which brings a boon. Only 1 Drake behind. With that, both teams are still very close, except in terms of gold. We have a 1.5k gold lead, of course, in favor of Iron Wolves, but something like Atakan, if one team rotates towards it in a, I'll say, more clever manner, that can have a huge impact on the game.
Yeah. And by the way, with the new patch, we already have a new bug, by the way. I don't know if you saw Orn, but there was a turret in the top lane still standing, but he is not standing. So the turret is gone, but the turret never died. So it's just a visual bug actually, but it's annoying because if you or this mid lane turret,
Yeah,
he is there but he isn't. So
You know,
some
as
people
they say.
in their heads they see the turret, so they back off from a play or they don't want to dive or it's so they just for a split second you think no we cannot go, and then you see the turret have no health and then you remember oh it's back, but sometimes they actually misplay it there because you think oh no we cannot go for more. Which is really annoying, and like on the bot lane, the turret is gone. So sometimes some turrets are gone, sometimes not. It's whoever was coding it, it's crazy. So don't be fooled by not shooting turrets.
That is once again a typical, I'll say, embodiment of League of Legends spaghetti code. You know, there's no reason for this bug to appear now, but it does.
Yeah, it actually, I mean, nobody probably has like changed the code from turrets or something, but apparently something else was overwritten something, or I don't know. I would really like to see the code just to understand something like that.
Ooh, maybe Catchy on Kinetic who overstepped a little bit. Frescas as well. Ruby now following up. Maybe if they had 3 people on the wall, they could have gotten him. But with that, the 2 Snooze players are able to get away. Drake is going to come up. That's going to be sole point for Infernal Wolves, probably.
Yeah. And Rakuzi got actually good and back into the game. I mean, if you just check, both have 2 items completed on the top lane. I mean, of course, Lukbingu has upgraded boots and he has more other items, so he's still ahead on gold. But just in terms of like total items, they're actually close.
Kinetic here goes for the catch on, not Sandwich, not the prime target, but lots of damage falling on the brown player slowly but surely. Mikino luckily just there to dish some damage out so that they're dissuaded to go any further. Atakan is still up. We have sole point on sides of Infernal Wolves. Slowly but surely, by getting some objectives, they're taking a lead here. However, the gold gap is getting smaller and smaller here.
That's true. No, Snooze actually starts up the Atakan. But just to bait them, nobody comes. They have no vision on Meccano. But not really a CC ready for that, so at the moment they are just fishing and nobody takes the bait.
Starting to close in on Infernal Wolves. Scopes is still on the bot lane. Has TP up, but TP being slow. Won't be there quite on time. You can see the vision on the top side jungle of the Infernal Wolves, on sides of Snooze in a sense, is top notch. There's no angle can be taken by the Infernal Wolves, would leave them surprised.
That's true. They have the full vision on them. So every single bush is basically a face check. And there could be...
There we go, the Gnar onto the clone. Good reaction from a Rubin. This clone taking on 2 ultimates, the wombo combo here on the Snooze roster, all in one bush almost. Tons of damage falling onto them. Frankie next to fall at a Rubin, who finds purchase onto them. Tim Shady really low. Is he going to be able to get away like he did on Tuesday? No, he doesn't. Shutdown money going to the Infernal Wolves player. Kinetic now really low. Last man standing, or last bug standing for Snooze. Gets away, but at what cost?
Yeah, and the red from bad to worse in just a second. They ulted the clone with the Gnar, they ulted him again with Kinetic's ult, and then just Scopes finding like a huge stun into the whole combo. Just everybody exploded after that. And now they even got the Atakan, got the winning team fight. 5k gold lead now for them. And it's so funny, it's like the both big engage ultimates, both onto the clone. Ruben just is being a monster there. And in the end even killing Tim Shady, so he did everything correct.
Yeah, that's one annoying monkey with that W. One ability. One little seconds cooldown ability can make or break a whole team fight. And with that, now Snooze are really set back on the back foot. This huge gold lead that came out in favor of the Infernal Wolves after this team fight, the Atakan, they're already ahead in Drakes. 1 minute 30, and that's Soul coming in. We have the Soul point on sides of Infernal Wolves. Now they can really start to play out their cards.
Yeah, they can indeed. And like this false life, it will be so dangerous to actually try to engage there. Especially, I mean, if you just look at it, Scopes and Look Bingo both have teleport. So even if they die, it's basically a 7 versus 5. Because they could instantly teleport back. And with that, you might just want to wait it out. There's no reason to do anything over aggressive now from the sides of Snooze. And in the meantime, 50 seconds till Soul. So Snooze kind of needs to wait for that as well. Probably the Atakan buff will wear out until the Drake Soul.
Yeah, they
But
decide to be aggressive here. The Infernal Wolves, Ruben finding purchase onto Kinetic. TP coming in. They can, with that false life, they can. We have the Root sitting on the Ruben, but Snooze doesn't have a free engage. Rikuzi on the top lane.
And I would try to find the final engage now, just to use it.
That's good. They get mass CC on the Kog'Maw on Mikino getting really low. That's already the AD carry out of the fight. 1 member less for the team fight. They can fight this. Even though there's a false life, Mikino is going to be on the way soon. We have another stun landing on Scopes, another prime target for them. They get the ulti onto him. That's the shutdown going to Frankie with the call of the Forge God. They try to win some time, but now Luke Bingo forced to fall back. We have a Rikuzi that has Dern gets the Bagagna just in time, and with that, Snooze is able to turn around the situation around this Drake here in their favor.
And again, they kind of got outplayed. Infernal Wolves just being too slow in this game, it seems. In the rotation, they tried to push out mid lane to then go to Drake. Then Mikano was just alone, so they kind of just sold him for a measly price of 200 gold. And with that, they just went and killed everybody. So, and what I really liked was that Snooze waited it out. Like, they even wanted to wait it out for Mikano, but then he kind of killed himself against, I think it was the Thornmail. So, just crazy. Now the Baron is on the table.
Yeah, Rune waiting for the angle to steal it with his might. He's got Cyclone up still as things go down, but he dies way too fast at the damage of Tim Shady with his 4 shots. Rikuzi forced to flash out. They get the Baron. Wow, what a 2 consecutive huge plays coming in from Snooze, taking those kills, taking the Drake, rotating to Baron, and things are looking up for them.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they are still behind on gold.
Yeah.
And now with the Baron, they can actually go for some turrets. They can actually go for maybe another team fight and just winning more and more money. And after they got all the money, they are actually ahead and then probably even winning. The one thing we don't need to forget is that first of all, they have boots of the boots of upgrades. They can so spend more money in total, and they get the Ornn upgrade, so even more, quote unquote, more gold when they are full item, right? So in the end, the Infernal Wolves probably still scaling better, especially like with Mel and with Kog'Maw. If they can really fight it front to back, I still believe that the Infernal Wolves have the better team comp. But at the moment, they just get picked apart too many times, just out-rotated, and I don't know. And just look at sideline again. Nobody defends the Gnar right now. They have 2 mid lane, 2 bot lane, 3 mid lane. Nobody defends Gnar, so just poor sideline management, in my opinion. And with that, I mean, it's hard to sideline against Baron buff and stuff. So, not criticizing too much, but yeah, they just lost the turret here. We're basically free.
Yeah, and I think that's those split pushing comps are really part of the Snooze identity, I would say, especially with a player like Rikuzi and so on. Something they've also done a lot last season, and it's a tactic that they've learned to master. Another turret on the mid lane as teamfight goes on. Call of the Forge God Fresk is getting really low here. Is supposed to fall back, but the Rubin in the middle of Snooze has to be careful because Frankie deals lots of damage. They have Kinetic in front. He gets shut down by Mikano himself really low. Here comes the curtain call. Are they going to be able to finish him off? It's Rakuzi who does. Gets a shutdown on the little bug here. And this is looking really good for Snooze as they take down 4 members. And they should get that inhib on the mid lane as well.
Yeah, that could be game actually. It's just Look Bingo, the guy who started with 2 solo bolos and never got a single kill after that, and now he is the only one standing and probably losing now to Snooze, who have a wonderful game played and beat the undefeated Infernal Wolves, which is crazy for the standings. And I don't know, I did not expect it. Snooze looks better than I thought.
Snooze looks really strong, and especially their macro here, because the way they moved around the map was just wonderful overall. I mean, you could not tell me anything otherwise. If you're wondering why we're staying on this screen really long, apparently my webcam is taking ages to load up for whatever reason. Just,
Nobody wants to see you. That's all.
Yeah, apparently my camera said, nah, nobody wants that. It's, you know, the wonders of technology. 1 minute it works, the other one it says, you know what, I'm just not gonna work now. And now it gives me a black screen. And very soon, hopefully, you should see this. It's not better.
But you can see me, I guess. Something. My good old Logitech, you are doing a good job here. Yeah, it's funny thing. I bought it back then because it has this crazy feature to kind of make a green screen out of nowhere, just to trying to fade out the face and stuff. But even though it was a cool technology like back in the day, even Teams as a software now has it and stuff. So it's kind of crazy that I bought it just for this single feature, and it wasn't even good. And now like every webcam and every program kind of does it, and yeah. But still, good camera. Thank you, Logitech. Yeah. But your camera was just broken. I'm sorry.
Look, at least it works, right? It doesn't just give you yeah. I'm working for sure. This because my camera is saying, oh, I'm giving a signal to your laptop, but my laptop's saying I'm not getting a signal. So you know, good times.
I don't know. Maybe we will jump into a few 10-minute break, and then we see if you can fix your camera.
I'll just look for another one. As you said, we'll head into a 10-minute break, and then we'll be right back with Royal Family Esports against Rely on Esports. See you soon.